get in the car, man.
I will.
Get in the car.
I can't move.
I've been waiting the whole time. Get in the car.
Mama.
Get up and get in the car right.
I can't.
You gave y'all the opportunity to get in, bro. I told you can't win.
My knee.
You can't win, man.
I'm through.
I know you is now because you didn't listen.
I'm claustrophobic. My stomach hurts. My neck hurts. Everything hurts. It's water or something. Please. Please. I can't breathe all the time.
Shut up.
They will kill me. They will kill me, man.
Bro, with your feet on his neck, man, you get off the
His nose is bleeding. Like, come on now.
That's wrong right there with his feet on his neck.
Look at his nose.
You can see your knee on his neck. Yeah, he got your feet right on his neck. He ain't even resisting the rest.
I cannot breathe.
You just a grown, you're a tough guy. You're a tough guy, huh? You're a tough guy. You're not even resisting the rest, bro.
His whole nose is bleeding.
Fight with him.
Bro, but why you just sitting there? He ain't doing nothing now. Put him in the car.
They'll kill me.
How long y'all gotta hold him down?
This is why you don't do drugs, kids. It ain't about drugs, bro. Y'all understand?
Y'all don't gotta put y'all in. Right.
He is human, bro.
His nose is
But I'm saying you
bleeding.
can put him in the car. That's a
We tried that for 10 minutes.
That's a bum. Y'all know that. You still gotta sit there with your knee on his neck, bro.
He's talking, he's fine.
Bro, he ain't crying, bro.
We're done.
You circulate like in a jiu-jitsu move, bro. You trapped in his breathing right there, bro. Like, you don't think that what it is, bro? You don't think nobody understands that shit right there, bro? I train at the academy, bro. That's some. Bro, that's bro. Stopping his breathing right there, bro.
Okay, he's talking.
He's talking. Bro, but you can get him off the ground. You being a bum right now. You can get him off the ground, bro. You can get him off the ground. You being a bum right now. He enjoying that. He enjoying that. He enjoying that. Fucking bum, bro. He enjoying right now, bro. You could have put him in the car by now, bro. He's not resisting arrest or nothing.
Talking now?
You enjoying it. Look at you. Your body language explains it. You bum.
Bro, get the fuck off of here.
It's the whites. They look at him.
Bro.
Get off of him now.
What is wrong with y'all?
Like that?
He got mace. He got mace. Cannot breathe. Get over here. No, first of all.
Bro, look, well, you should check on him. He's not responsive right now. He's not responsive.
Look at him.
Right now.
Get off the street.
He's not responsive right now. He's not responsive right now. He's not responsive right now, bro. No, bro, look at him. He's not responsive right now, bro.
The surge in hate crimes against Asian Americans only getting worse, and some of the accounts are extremely violent.
And when the door opened, he stepped forward and slashed me. Then I put my hand on my face, and then when I look at my hands, there's blood oozing. So I cried for help, and I cried for help, but nobody helped.
Let's get to NBC News correspondent Vicky Nguyen. Vicky, it was so hard to hear. Mr. Quintana there slashed on the subway. We've heard about a 52-year-old woman attacked outside a New York City bakery on Tuesday. A 91-year-old man pushed to the ground in San Francisco last month. These are just horrific stories. What else are you hearing?
Yeah, Allison, thanks for having me on to talk about this. And thankfully that 91-year-old man is recovering from his injuries. But I think one of the incidents, the most disturbing, that really kicked off the social media outrage and the public outrage was the death of 84-year-old Visha Ratanapakdi. He was the Thai man in San Francisco who had just gotten his COVID-19 vaccine, had just celebrated his birthday, a father or grandfather, walking on the sidewalk in broad daylight when a surveillance camera captured his attacker crossing the street, shoving him to the ground. He never regained consciousness. So that, I think, awakened a real outrage, and that's what's gotten this conversation started, and rightfully so, because the metrics back it up. Alameda County's DA, that's out in the Bay Area where Oakland is located, where some of these attacks have been happening in their Chinatown. Over a 2-week span, they recorded 18 incidents of anti-Asian racist attacks. You showed the numbers from Stop AAPI Hate. talking about the 2,800 incidents since the pandemic started. That ranges from people being spat upon to being yelled at to the physical violence that you're seeing, even denials of service at businesses. And here's a statistic that really stood out to me. They said that 7% of their accounts involve Asian American victims who are over 60 years old.
Folks, how about kids? NBC is reporting that some school principals are concerned about Asian American students' safety when they go back to school. What can they do? How are they trying to protect those students? And what are some of parents' top concerns? They have to be terrified to send their young ones back to school with concerns of violence.
I mean, this is such a concern across all age levels right now in this community. Stop AAPI Hate did a survey of young people over the summer and found 1 in 4 said they have experienced racist bullying. So these are not just verbal attacks, but they're also physical attacks. Lots of concerns about kids going to and from school and experiencing this in their own classrooms. What can be done to mitigate it? Well, experts say one thing is teach Asian American history, teach the contributions of Asians to this country, that they are a part of the fabric of America. And also for families to talk about these things and to be a bystander. That means, obviously be safe, but if you witness this, speak up against racism, be an ally. These are things that we can teach our kids.
Thank you, everybody. All right, connecting. Oh my God. Hey, so sorry. You're not the only person that has trouble with that. I think Facebook needs to make it a little more simpler, whatever the hell the problem is. It's so frustrating, though. It's not you. It's just, I wish they made it more simple. What happened? Where'd she go? Oh my God. Thank you, Maurice. Sorry, guys. Apparently, we're having technical difficulties. Unbelievable. This Facebook, I don't know. The social medias have been acting pretty weird lately. I don't know if it's happening to anybody else, but they've been acting weird lately. Instagram and Facebook. You can hear me, Mama?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
How you doing?
I'm all right.
I'm sorry about that headache. Thank you for hanging in there with me.
No problem. I feel bad that I'm like retarded. I don't know what I'm doing.
No, it's not even you. It's just they don't have it, they're always changing this shit, and they take out the features that are good, that, make it simpler for people to just get on. Anyway, you look beautiful. How you enjoying your Mama's Day over there? You with family? Oh no, she froze. Shit. I don't know. Facebook is not having it today, I guess. I don't know what's the problem. Let me see. Come back to me, girl. Come back. Come back. Oh gosh, crazy today. Okay, I'm Start talking quick before the shit keeps happening. How you doing today, Mama? You enjoying your day with family?
Yeah, you know, my mom's not with us anymore, my grandmother, my two warriors, so it's just a tough day, but I'm getting through it.
Me the same way. I mean, my mom's still here, but you know, there's drama, so it sucks. But
I
you know,
understand.
we have them here regardless.
Absolutely. I have their ashes and little hearts hanging on my wall over my bed.
Right. So you pronounce your name Joleetta?
Yeah.
Okay, I said. All right. Miss Joleetta, I want to thank you for being here today. I know this is not an easy thing to speak on, but you know, it is definitely important to spread more awareness since, I want to say, guys, first of all, it's your girl BMF Goddess. You already know. I have the pleasure of being able to interview Miss Joleetta, who recently survived a racist attack, a racist physical attack. Um, I just have to say, you know, over the past year of 2020, as far as everything corrupt and bad in the world has only skyrocketed in numbers. And unfortunately, that does include racism. There's been, I mean, the whole Black Lives Matter movement. You got the Asian hate now because of the pandemic, and it's just totally ridiculous. You know what's happening to people and all the fucking hate in everybody's hearts. You know, committing these crimes or being a part of the negative, you know, forces. It's terrible. It's terrible, and it really breaks my heart. And it needs to fucking stop.
Yeah. One of the things, like, for me, it has always been social justice. I used to be a part of a performance group, and a lot of the things we did, like I did skits, but I also do spoken word, and everything was mostly based around me being half black, half white. And most people look at me and think I'm Hispanic. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't mind. But um I'm not. I'm Italian, Jamaican, and Bayesian, and you can't really tell just looking at me. So I was at ShopRite. My aunt, she's deaf. So we go our own ways. She does her little shopping, and I'm always dummy for her. So I'm standing outside, and like four teenagers came up to me, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" So I'm just, I love kids. I love teenagers. I'm gonna talk to you. And they're just asking me like, are you Hispanic? I was like, no, no, no. I'm half black, half white. They were like, oh, so you're a nigger. I was like, what? They were like, you're a nigger and your mother was a nigger lover. I was like, excuse me? And then before I even like could wrap my head around it, they like these kids were like not even punching me. They were like scratching at me. It's like all over my chest, all over my back. And I just basically just covered my face because I didn't want my face to be all scratched up. I have lupus
Yeah.
and arthritis, and I can get very sick very easily. So they can be carriers. They didn't have no masks on. So there was a camera facing outside of the supermarket. And because the manager was in his office, he saw it and came downstairs, and the kids ran. So he has all the footage, and they caught one of the kids. This kid is not speaking up about the other three. So when things are happening, you don't remember what people look like. I just know it was two white girls and
Yeah.
two white boys. And I don't know if that was their deal for the day or that's something they do normally. But I just know that I want to find these kids and make sure they
What's
understand
going
what
on
they
with the
did.
one that they caught? You're gonna press charges, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely pressing charges. I want this on their record. They need to know it's not okay. It is not
That's right.
okay.
Because they're young. Imagine, you know, as they get older, what they're gonna turn into.
Yeah,
This is
and
in the society that we already live in.
for me, what I think of is if you have this ideology now, that's something that your family, your parents, your peers have been instilling in you, been talking about to you. So that makes you think it's okay. And so many people say there's no such thing as white privilege. Yes, there is. I'm sorry. I'm half white myself, and I know there's white privilege. I don't get looked at as a white girl. And I don't care what people view me as. I don't. I know and I'm proud to be black and white. But the worst thing I hate is like people just those stares, those looks, you know what I mean? Like if you're in a nice car, they look at you like, oh, what is that, jog money for that car? So it's like that feeling you get. And it's
Right.
just
Mm-hmm.
and it brings like this rage inside you and you just want to fight everybody, but that's not the answer. But if we hate so much about how people treat us as black people or Hispanic people, why are we doing this to Asian people too? You know, just because Trump said it came from China doesn't mean every Chinese person you see or Asian person you see is the bad person.
He's the dumbass that, definitely contributed to all the fucking hate and
He did. He
going
brought it
on
all
with
out.
the Asians.
He brought it to the surface, and so many people still stand by him, and it's broken up family. Like there's a divide in my own family with an aunt. Her husband, he's racist. She was never racist. We grew up in Brooklyn. Okay, everybody was friends with everybody. Doesn't matter what color you are, what you look like, everybody was friends. And for her to be that way, it breaks my heart. And she stands behind Trump regardless. I don't talk politics with people because that's the one thing that can drive you apart. But
Right, definitely. I just, agree to disagree, man, because that's always people cut you off just for that, and people get into heated arguments, and I'm like, there's really no reason for that. You believe what you want to believe, I believe what I want to believe, and you just leave it at that. Respect.
yeah, if you're not harming yourself or anybody else, believe what you want to believe, believe the stars in the sky are Fruit Loops. I don't care. If it's not harming me or you or anybody else, you're allowed to feel and think the way you want to. Just don't bring that out into the real world and harm other people with it.
Right.
Like when people talk about sexuality, what does someone's sexuality have to do with you? Like if I'm gay, so what? I'm not hurting you. There's so many things people want to put their 2 cents in when it really has nothing to do with you. Live and let live. That's my whole thing. Like, it was scary, and I had to go to the hospital because I had to fill out a report. If I didn't go to the hospital, it would be a half report just with police. But going to the hospital shows the evidence of what happened. Nobody sits there and scratches himself up. I mean, maybe they do, but I don't.
No, yeah, that's crazy.
I'm just glad you kids couldn't fight that well.
Yeah, a bunch of punk ass little kids.
And they weren't out to steal because they didn't take nothing of mine. I guess it was just like a pride thing. Like they wanted to feel good about what they did. I don't know. How does that make you feel good? I don't get it.
Well, especially being that they were young kids, is definitely something that's being taught to them, which is, and you said you were in Long Island?
Yeah, I live in Babylon, Long Island.
You actually, you've never experienced anything like that before over there? Because I've actually heard some stories about the area, and apparently there is a lot of racism going on over there, and that's fucking insane.
The area that I live in is right by the water. I'm in Babylon. It's very racist. So I would be with my fiance at the time in the car, and we wouldn't park in front of our house. We park a little further down, just it's nighttime, and we have like 3 houses down a house full of college boys. And they came out the car, and I'm like, what are you niggers doing out here? I'm like, I live right there. Like, why are you calling us that? Oh, if you live right there, why don't you park right there? I'm like, it's quiet. There's nobody over here. What's the big deal? I've experienced racism on my block like crazy. But West Babylon is not far, it's the same area, but it's more mixed, more different kind of people. So in West Babylon, you don't think you're going to deal with that as much. Like North Babylon is even more mixed. But it's just like that threw me for a loop. Like I can understand, not that I can understand, but the area that I live in, the specific area,
Right.
almost everybody on my block is racist. And I date black guys, and you don't have to like it. They're not coming to your house. They're coming to
Right.
my house. You know, I have black friends, I have Hispanic friends, I have Asian friends, I have friends that are of all races, all genders, all identities. You're not going to make my friends feel uncomfortable. The people that I invite to my house feel uncomfortable because it's not something you would do. It's not okay. It's not okay. And it breaks my heart that they think it's funny, that it's cute, and it's not. It really isn't. I mean, I don't think people really understand something until it happens to them. Like,
Oh, for sure.
you know, like
Definitely.
when I found out I had lupus, before that, I knew nothing about lupus. I had an older woman who was a friend from my neighborhood, and she said, "Why don't you go get checked out for lupus? It's hard to find out that you have it, but just showing all the signs." I'm like, "What is lupus? I never heard of it." So until I found out about it and I got, tested for it, then I knew about it. But most people don't educate themselves on something until it hits home.
Right.
So,
Absolutely. That's a great point. Um, I have disliked racism my whole life. I've never been that type of person either. Um, but I never knew what it felt like until it did happen to me one day. And I was just like, it just hits you like in the chest, like, did that really just happen? Like,
yeah,
for real? To me, just like anything else that we see crazy in the news and we think, hey, it's never gonna happen to me. What are the chances? And then the day it does, that's when you want to change your whole thought process, or you want to look at things different or open your mind more. Don't wait for that to happen. Be a part of the fucking change that we need now. Like,
exactly. It starts
what
with one
happened to
person.
me was what, 2 years ago. I was in a department store shopping, and I was walking to get on the line, which was really long as usual in that store. And this lady, she was kind of like rushing to make it in front of me, and I wasn't stressing it, like, but she hit me in the back of, my back of my ankles. It kind of hurts when you get hit back there
Yeah.
with the fucking cart. And I turned around and I was like, "Miss, the line ain't going nowhere." And she was like, damn, I don't remember the exact dialogue, but she called me a spick and she cursed me out just for that, just for telling her to slow her roll because she hit me with her cart. So that was all I needed. Like, first of all, my mouth is venomous. Make sure you're making the right fucking choice when you speak to me wrong. So I came out of my face, and I'll tell you, my mouth will make you want to fucking either flip or cry.
Exactly. When you
And she chose to try to hit me with the card again. This time I caught it and I threw that shit across the fucking store.
I believe
And
you.
it was on from then because she called me spick again. So
Not okay.
we not even thumping because she couldn't fight. I got arrested that day. She was Caucasian. She never got arrested for putting her hands on me. They took me away because she was, all bloody or whatever, and she never got any charges for putting her hands on me. Nothing. Just me because, she ended up bloody, but they did nothing to her. And I went through months and months of fucking court just for them to dismiss it, wasted time and all this crap. But, bro,
It's not
you know,
okay.
it's crazy.
And
People
being
be
half
throwing
white.
words around like it's nothing. Like, no.
Yeah. I mean, like being half white, like the white side of the family that I live with, we're from Brooklyn. We don't think like that. So we don't when like we're not those kind of white people. So it's like when you have those kind of white people that do things like that because they're like, "Oh, ain't nothing gonna happen to me, so I don't care." That's the worst. Like you really think you're untouchable, but just one day, you're gonna do something to the wrong person and your ass is grass. Okay? I remember being in the hospital one time, and you know how they have the cubicles in the emergency room with the little curtain. So I usually have my iPad, but I have it on really low and I put closed caption on. So I don't bother anybody. The lights are bright, everybody's feeling sick. So I got it on low. So when you wear a yellow gown, you are there for mental health reasons. There was a woman to the right of me, and she had an aide that had to sit with her to make sure she didn't get up or do anything. Right. She decided that, because I got a phone call, that I need to shut my phone off, you stupid fucking nigger. And I'm like, I said, did you just say that to me? She's like, yeah, I got black kids. I said, because you had sex with a black man means you can call me that? That's not how it goes. So she got out her cubicle and tried to come towards me. And if I cry, that's because that's me stopping myself from hurting you. I know I'm in the hospital.
I cry when I'm angry sometimes too.
Yeah, there's cops here, and I know if I was to get up, I would have strangled this bitch. I made sure she was the one who was acting psychotic, so they had to take her ass and lock her up to the bed and move her away from me. I'm like, no, I can't. And you got an aide sitting there wanting to be her friend, or, kikiing it up with her. I'm like, you're supposed to be texting me to make sure that she doesn't hurt anybody, but you want to be her friend. Do your job. Stop worrying about being cute and talking about all this stuff. She literally just called me the N-word because my phone rang and my iPad was on. Like, it was on low. I think about other people so much that sometimes I'm like, why? Why do I do that? I need to put myself first. Like, that was a horrible experience. I wrote about it on Instagram once before. But ever since moving to Long Island, I've never experienced racism as much as I did until I moved out here. And how
do you deal with it?
I either I get really angry and almost physical, or I just have to tell myself they're not worth it. I'm not going to jail over somebody that's not worth it. You mean nothing to me. You're nobody, And these people really don't matter. Like I told my grandfather, these kids, these college boys and all these girls that come over, they're drinking, they're drunk, and they calling me all these N-words and stuff. So he approached them. They're like, oh, well, she was out there smoking pot. First of all, I was in my car. It's not that serious. You mean to tell me you're not in your house smoking pot?
It's legal, bitches. Mind your fucking business.
And I have a medical marijuana card for the health issues that I have. So give me a break. So it's just too much.
What advice would you give? What advice would you give others?
When faced with diversity, you have to just stop and think about the people you care about and love. Because if you put yourself in the situation that they put themselves in, it's not going to do you any good. You're always going to be looked at as the bad person. It sucks to have to hold back that anger and that animosity you have towards the people that are attacking you, but you have to really dig deep and just pray while you're doing it or something, because it just happened so fast. I was just like, oh my God, why is this happening to me? And then I think about people who are way darker than me. I'm so fair-skinned. My father is very dark. My mother is very light. And people either think I'm mixed or Hispanic. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can think whatever you want to think, as long as you don't put your hands on me. But once that becomes the issue, I'm very pro-black, and I don't agree with it at all. There's never any time in your life that warrants you to be able to put your hands on somebody unless you feel threatened. If they throw something at you or hit you themselves, it shouldn't. It's just horrible. It was the worst feeling ever. I'm still more mentally hurt than I am physically. My brain is still not processing it.
Do you feel like you feel fearful now or worried about anything that's gonna happen in the future, or you feel fearful for your safety and where you live?
Well, I'm only living here with my family until I get my disability. then I'm not. I was gonna stay in Long Island with my grandfather, but I can't do it. I cannot do it. I won't do it.
I don't blame
But I'm a Brooklyn girl, born and raised my whole life, so that whole thing, I'm not scared of it, cause I know at the end of the day, if I need to fight, I'll fight. But I don't want to. I don't want to have to fight. You know.
right.
But I'm not fearful or scared or anything like that because my mindset is I'm Brooklyn. Like what I've seen it all, you know. I just haven't been a victim of it myself. You know, I've helped people who were victims. Instead of pulling out my camera phone and recording, I jumped in and helped, you know, stuff like that. But to be the person, it's weird. I don't know how to wrap my head around it. I really don't. And even if my aunt was out there, she's deaf. So I'm just glad she wasn't, like, she takes her time in the store, like really, really slow. So I'm glad that she didn't have to witness it because she's
Yeah.
deaf, but she can still talk, not like 100% like we can, but
Yeah.
she is tough. She's mean. I mean, like, if you cross in front of her, she's ready to fight you. So I'm just glad that
Imagine her
she wasn't
reaction
out
when she
there.
came out.
When she seen me on the floor, she was all she cared about was why am I on the floor. You know, like she just my shirt was like half up, like I was exposed, and I didn't give a crap about who saw what. I just was like stunned and stuck. Like,
Yeah, because it's like, oh my God, this just happened, and what if one of them had a weapon, and it could have been. I mean, I'm glad nothing worse happened, but it's like, wow.
I don't want to cry, but a
Perhaps
part of me is like,
it's o-
I'm
it's
so
okay.
glad that they didn't have any weapons on them because um, my friends keep telling me carry around a knife. That's not me. Like I'm about we're gonna
What
talk it
about
out. We're gonna
what about some girl recently, especially with all the shit going on in the New York MTA? I recently bought a can of mace because
yeah,
just in case nobody's catching me off guard. At least a
yeah,
can of mace, you don't have to carry a knife. Just something that will, get them away from you so you can get away.
yeah, because I really don't want to like hurt somebody to that. Even if their intention was to hurt me, I can't live with the fact that I might have killed somebody or stabbed somebody and hurt them, and that's not me. Like I'm an empath all the way. But you also I'm like literally the sweetest person or I'm the meanest bitch you ever will meet. And I don't like to
Right.
have to go to that side. But when I have to, I will. I trust me, I will. If they weren't teenagers and I knew they were older, trust me, I would have fought back. But I was afraid of what I was
You could
capable of
do.
doing,
Yeah.
you know? And it would have turned around 360 and it would have been all my fault. I already know how it
Right.
works.
Right.
I
And
know how this works.
that's another thing. What would have happened if you did fight back? Would you be facing anything just because of how things run down there? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm sure it would have. I'm definitely sure it would have. Cause yeah, it's I mean, I have a couple of neighbors that are nice, but it's like I'm used to being in an environment where you can knock on your neighbor's door and ask for a cup of sugar, or you got an extra egg, or you got some garlic powder or something. Not like all my neighbors are all assholes, and I have one neighbor here and one neighbor here that we talk, and that's it. You know, it's like it's ridiculous. I mean, Brooklyn is so expensive to live in, but I miss it. I miss that Brooklyn love. You know what I mean? Biggie said it the best. You know,
Yeah.
spread love is the Brooklyn way. We all tough. We all New Yorkers were tough and you know we've seen it all and been through it all. But that doesn't mean we have to live it every day. It's Long Island is horrible. I'm sure there's parts of Long Island that are better than others, but I haven't seen it, and I've been in a lot of areas.
I know someone who lives in Long Island who had a Black Lives Matter sign, who has a Black Lives Matter sign in front of their house, and people drive by all the time telling them to take it down.
No, you have the right. Just like you put your Trump flag out there or your freaking Civil War stupid racist ass flag out. Oh, you guys got the right to do that, but I can't have a Black Lives Matter flag out? No. It's my house, my property. I'm gonna put up what I want to. My neighbor, her daughter is gay, so she put up a flag, the rainbow flag, and people protested till she took it down. That's not fair. She's supporting her daughter. She's showing solidarity. That's not okay. It is not okay. Who are you to tell the
I
next
just
person
want to
what they
say, motherfucking Long Island BMF goddess is coming for you.
do? I'm telling you, like Elmont is closer to Queens, so that's it's a little different. Elmont is like a big melting pot. It's like Queens. Once you get out of Nassau County and you move to Suffolk County, which I'm in Suffolk County, Suffolk County is huge and full of bullshit. Like, it's just ridiculous. Everybody walks around with their pinkies in the air and, like, I just can't. I
It's
really
crazy
can't.
because I never knew it was even like that out there. I don't know much about Long Island, man, but apparently we have our own what is it, like South Carolina or somewhere down south over here in New York. That's the racist community.
hmm Jonathan Belgrove, my friend who's watching, he lives in South Carolina. He could tell you that it's not easy
Still
out there.
crazy in parts over there too, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I haven't been there, but he's told me about a lot of different things that happen out there, and you should never walk out your house and feel like, oh, my complexion is different than most people, so they're not gonna like me.
Yeah, or
Judge a
like what
person,
adventure on my face today just because I'm this color.
yeah, like judge a person based off of their character, how they treat themselves and others, not off the color of their skin or anything physical that you can see, because
You
it's not
see,
okay.
me and you were more tough skin, hard asses. I feel for the people who are the complete opposite, who don't know how to defend themselves whatsoever, don't know how to talk, and are really timid, and they get preyed upon, like a lot of the Asian community, the older Asian community, and the younger Black kids. Like, it's like, God, it rises something in me that I just.
I know this younger generation coming up, it's
I
it's it's gonna
wish,
be bad.
if this was a different world, I think I'd be a vigilante, because the rage that it gives me makes me want to take the law into my own hands,
Your
because
blood
it's
boils,
crazy.
doesn't it? Your blood boils, doesn't it? Like, I don't want to be another hashtag. Uh, you know, I'm not necessarily somebody who can have kids. I have PCOS, but if I do have a kid, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be with a Black man because that's all I'm attracted to.
Yeah,
And
that's just your preference.
yeah, and being that my father is extremely dark and my child can come out anywhere from lighter than me to as dark as my dad, and I fear for having my own children and them having to grow up in this world. Like, it's crazy. And
You know
Jonathan,
what?
nobody's
You
dropping
know
me
what
in
I
this
would do
water.
if I was you? The same motherfuckers that you come out your house and have shit to say. When you see them, when you see them, what's up, cracker? What's up, you fucking white piece of shit? How the fuck you like it?
Exactly.
And I
Exactly.
don't talk like this. I apologize. But to
No,
those people shelling it out, I want to see how well you fucking take it.
exactly. Because it doesn't feel as good as it does dishing it out, does it? You think it's cute to sit there and call me a nigger or a pickaninny or whatever the hell you calling me, telling me to call you massa and all this shit. Oh, you're a cracker, right? Bring the cheese, bitch. Like, come on. Like, it's not
Oh,
okay.
I'm gonna come visit you one day. I want to see somebody come out their face. Oh man, I got a whole lot of anger to get out, bro.
This
I
is
couldn't
why
imagine dealing with that every day. I'd probably be in fights every motherfucking day. That's crazy.
I used to walk around my block because I live like at the end, there's water all around me. So like it's like 1, 2, 3 corners is water, and I'm right in the middle. So I used to walk around the block, look on the water and just clear my head and stuff. Now I won't even walk around the block because one time I was sitting in the car and a guy came out and took pictures of me. I'm like, why are you taking pictures of me? Oh, move your fucking car, you bitch. I'm like, what? I'm by the water. I'm not in front of your house. What are you talking about? Like, it escalates so fast, and people really think that they have this privilege. And I don't give a shit what anybody says, oh, white privilege doesn't exist. Yes, it does. Because you wouldn't be doing shit like that if you didn't think you were untouchable.
It absolutely fucking does. Because let me tell you, a lot of people don't know my Yasmin is my middle name. A lot of people don't know my first name, but when I tell you, when I say my first name, I definitely it has been privileged because it is, predominantly a Caucasian name. That's just bullshit. Anybody who says that is full of shit, and I'm sorry. Like, it exists very much so, every fucking where in this fucking planet.
Too many people rest their morals on that shit and then want to say, oh, there's no such thing. Okay, so why do you keep doing what you're doing? Because you know it's true. Yeah, white people get arrested and stuff like that, but it takes 2 seconds for a black person to just turn around and get shot, where a white person can fidget, throw things, fight with you, run away, do all this shit, and they're still not shot. I'm not saying either person should be shot. That's not what I'm saying. But
Right.
why does this person?
They get away with a whole lot more. Like,
Yeah.
There's been cases where police shoot black people and talk about, well, they were scared. Why?
Why?
You're not scared when you let these white motherfuckers do the most.
I know.
Why are you scared?
If you're gonna be scared for your life, don't take a job that literally puts your life on the line.
Don't be a cop.
Too many people become cops because they were bullied as kids, and now they think, oh, I'm gonna become a cop because now I'm gonna have the right. It doesn't work that way.
Have you ever dealt with the cops down there? How do you feel the law enforcement is over there?
It's horrible. Very, 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 very horrible. It, like, I wasn't even smoking in the car, and so there's an area where people go fishing. It's across the water for me, which if I was to swim, it's a 2-second swim, but you gotta go all the way around to get to it. So we're just sitting there. I had made dinner, so we're eating in the car, and then the police came, and she's like, "Get out of the car," and I'm like, I have issues walking and stuff. I don't give a shit. Get out the car. Like, she roughed me up so badly, like threw me on the car, put her hand down my pants, in my bra, like groped me, that I got so like bothered that my period came down. Like, it was just like I got so stressed, and it just like I smell marijuana. I'm like, if you go to any one of these cars, you probably smell it too. It's not me. Like, we're sitting here eating dinner, minding our business, and she was rough on him, but she like really like. I guess because you're a woman.
Was she Caucasian?
Yeah. I think because she's a woman and he was a man, she couldn't put her hands on him that way. But she literally put her hands in my pants and my bra. I said, I feel like I'm being sexually abused over here. It was disgusting.
First of all, what was her okay, she's saying that she smelled weed. There was no reason to frisk you like that.
Man. And I had to go to court for it and everything, but it got dismissed. Because I've never been in trouble with the law. So I walked in, looked presentable and everything, and he was like, I'm just throwing this out. Just be careful and don't get in any trouble. I was like, okay. But she had it out, man. She was just looking to book me. Like, what can you take me down for? I don't have anything on me. Even if you smell it, there's no physical evidence of anything. Like every other car was smoking, and you decided to come to us. Like I don't get it. It's, I don't think it's ever gonna stop. I don't think this cycle of mentality is ever gonna change. No matter how much we riot, fight, march, it's never gonna change.
I can imagine what he goes through just being with you over there.
Yeah, that's why he don't come out here no more. And if he does, it's just to come straight into the house. That's it. No hanging outside. You know, we stay in the backyard in our own deck, but no hanging outside. There's not like everybody that has a party on my block is always only white people. If you were to come to my house to see a party at my house, it's a coalition of all different kind of people. All different kind of people. That's what I'm used to. You know, like a black party with everybody, not only one type of people. Like I feel so uncomfortable in those situations. I don't understand how. I don't know how this is ever gonna change. I really don't.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter who the smartest people in the world can do things, can say things. It's not gonna change, and I don't know what
It's
to
gonna
do.
be terribly difficult, but you know, if it takes all of us, it takes each and every person, and unfortunately, I don't believe it's ever gonna stop ever.
I don't think so either. And you know, another thing I wanted to touch basis on is our education system. Education system, when they teach Black history, all they teach you is Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, and slavery. There's so much more to Black history than those fucking things, okay? There's so much more. Do you know the people that actually invented what they invented? And they took their names off of it and put other people's names on it, okay? There's so many amazing, smart minds out there that come from Black people, but they took their names off of it and they put a white person's name on it. So now people are like, oh yeah, that's great. No, you don't really know who. It's like
true.
history is, I don't know. School is like, to me, an institution. It's institutionalized education. You go, they teach you the bare minimum from the back of a textbook that they're told to teach you, and that's what your kids learn. School cannot stop at school. If you send your kids to school, okay, but me personally, I'd rather homeschool my own kids because there's so much more to learn about history. And it's not just about slavery. Every kid will tell you they know about slavery, but there's so much more to Black history than that. So much more. Like, do they not realize that just the 50s, not that long ago, that we were still dealing with this shit?
Yeah.
Still. Like, what the fuck? Oh, I mean, I can talk about these things forever and ever, but what?
Well, you did great, and I want to thank you again for sharing your story and being here. It really means a lot to me and a lot to other people who are gonna watch it.
I appreciate you having me.
You guys watching, you already know. You can. This will be on YouTube tomorrow. You can search me at BMF Goddess on YouTube, and please do subscribe. I got a lot more stuff coming.
Support her. She's very smart. She's got a lot to talk about, lots of things to show you guys. And
Thank you so much, Mama. And you stay strong and know that I'm always here, man. You ever need me, give me a fucking call anytime.
Me too. And happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
May
Bye,
the
babe.
force be with y'all. Thank you.